Welcome back. Egypt and the whole world are celebrating the Museum International Day to shed more light on why on the 18th of May and how the whole world and Egypt, of course, are celebrating this day. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mr. Yehya Abdul Qader, our tourism counselor. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Ray, and good morning to you.
Why the 18th of May, sir?
Well, the International Council of Museums, the ICOM, since 1977 has initiated the celebration of the International Museums Day to be celebrated on May 18th of every day, so that the whole world population, they can go and visit museums and tourist facilities and attractions on a free basis, free of charge basis. So that's why, and the business to that was to create culture exchange, sustainability, and disseminating, knowledge and information for the whole world population. So this is the, the major reason that we're celebrating on May 18 every year.
And as far as I remember, that the theme of this year is the future of museums in a changing world, right?
Yes, it is, and we're adding to sustainability and the ability to do the world scene, for conserving and for creating and developing more museums on a world scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is to lead us to, or to analyze this theme, future of museums, because should we depend on, for example, should we take into consideration that before museums or the display of monuments of pieces in museums was a little bit primary, but now the case is totally different, and now there is a kind of competition among museums all over the world, which museum is implementing more technological devices or the state of the art technology to attract more visitors. In your opinion, which is which, or what can you add to what I've said, sir?
Well, museums classically, have been developed and established for the citizens of one nation or country, to be knowledgeable about their history, about their heritage, about the traditions, So it's classically, institutions. But of course, with the advent of technology, the virtual reality and the immersive experiences, and all is coming now, with the implementation of artificial intelligence is going to be added. So really this is the basic, is like about 90% classic and 10% innovation and creativity that is going to appeal to large audiences worldwide.
And what are the most important features of celebrating this day worldwide, sir? Is it free entry, for example? Is it some stories told to the visitors of each museum about its history or when it was established or stuff like that? What?
Well, really, this is part of it, but it is to, to stimulate and create, the motivation, for young generation, students, senior citizens. The whole world population, this year there's 160 countries, which, will be celebrating with the ICOM, officially recognized. And all these countries with their ministries, of culture, of archaeology, of tourism, of mass media, they are going to play a role, ahead of on May 18 to encourage, and motivate their citizens and population to go and visit, there's a variety of museums. For example, we have Kulthum, Naguib Mahfouz, Suez Canal,
Mahmoud
Mukhtar Jewelry Museum, in Alexandria.
Vehicles Museum in Sharm el-Sheikh, the Royal Vehicles Museum, those in Al Alamein with the pieces which goes back to to World War II, as far as I understand.
Exactly. There is the post office, the railway, the royal carriages. So museums is not only like archaeology and Egyptology and artifacts and all this, but anything, that's, at least like 100 years old, that will bring memories, like museums, rare books, the Coptic Museum, Islamic Museum. So everything that, builds up, like the memory and the belonging, like to certain,
Luxor itself is the biggest open-air museum. But, sir, let me add to what you have just said, because this is very important. Museums, it's not only for researchers, for students, for men of science. It can be also a very important trip for the youngsters, I mean the students in schools. Do you think that with the official inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum, this is going to be the case, and with all the facilities of the gym, it's going to be a leap or a turning point on how Egyptians in specific are looking at our museums in general?
Yes, definitely, because, this is, the state-of-the-art museum the whole world has been, expecting, for the past 20 years. So, inshallah, shortly it will be the grand opening, and the whole world media, is lining up now to come, and make, introduction about this great event. And there's going to be, royalties, celebrities, and, it's a great event that we are going to witness soon. And we are so proud, in Egypt and in Arab world and the Middle East, that we, are developing such a unique project and icon for culture, archaeology, and heritage as well.
Amen to that. But this does not mean that we are not going to continue with renovating our other museums, and that our museum of Al-Tahrir Square is going to maintain its glory. We want to also assure our guests and the visitors to these museums, whether from Egypt, from the Arab world, or from the whole world, that this is the case.
Yeah, it is, because, the Tahrir Museum is 120 years old. This is one of the earliest museums, has been developed, in the Middle East and Africa, and it has been constructed as a museum, and there's 4 museums worldwide has been developed after this time.
And so, our museum in Alexandria, I think it's the oldest worldwide.
It's the Greek-Roman, I'm talking about development, the Cairo Museum has been developed in 1905, since that time, but others, has been developed after that. The Greco-Roman museums, the jewelry museums in Alexandria, the Mahmoud Said, the Kafafis, museum, the great Greek poet, who lived in Alexandria. So really we have, at least 500 museums that classify between archaeological, heritage, historical, antiquities, and other, colors of life, like music and books and media and performers and celebrities, so this is very important.
Amen to that, sir. Well, Mr. Yehya Abdul Qader, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more. Stay tuned.